So this is the J from ORCA. This is a 435 square foot, 1 bed, 1 bath, open plan living area. This one's perfect as like an ADU, perfect for multi-generational living, or really good for like recreational parks. It's like a little cabin business. So this is a light gauge steel framed home. Light gauge steel is a structural framing system. So we use G90 galvanized steel. It's made up from 97% recycled steel content. And yeah, every component of that structural frame is fully recyclable at the end of its lifespan. So to frame a house, it would start off with your normal architectural design. It's then converted into a light gauge steel framing model. That design is then sent to an ORCA printer, and then the printing process itself, we take like a flat steel coil, and then when it goes through the ORCA light gauge steel printers, it's roll formed into a structural steel component. So that's the 3D element of the printing. They're basically designed to replicate what would be the equivalent in wood of a 2x4 or a 2x6. All of your service holes are pre-punched. You will have all of your electrical runs, your plumbing runs, fire sprinklers. Those sections are then assembled into a 3-dimensional panel, and then those panels are then installed and brought together to frame the building. So light gauge steel versus wood. If you look at the two materials themselves, yeah, light gauge steel has the highest strength to weight ratio of any building material. It overcomes the skills shortage because we don't need skilled trades and carpenters to frame a house. And the material itself, yeah, it's resistant to fire, rot, mold, warping. So a light gauge steel building will outlast a wood building. It's just a better performing building material for the modern day. So yeah, this is the J home by ORCA. It's really got that West Coast modern kind of cabin feel to it. We've got the dark iron ore seamless metal siding accented with the natural cedar tones. Because it's using a light gauge steel frame, light gauge steel is like a third of the weight of wood. So a lighter building allows for a lighter foundation system as well. So these units are perfect for screw piles. If you do want to do a concrete foundation traditional, you can get under home storage. But yeah, if you want something really fast and efficient and not invasive on your land or your property, screw piles are perfect for these buildings because of the reduction in weight. Yeah, so for this J model, we've gone for like a gable style roof. We do mono pitch as well, but with this gable roof, it just really nicely encloses it. You've got a covered deck that's part of the building, and then you can just swoop it out onto a deck extension. Great for sun lounges or just a nice seating area just to take in the outdoors. Cool, so yeah, this is the exterior siding of the building. We're using an iron ore seamless Mechlock siding. This is a Samsung heat pump. We've also got off-grid setup for septic underneath this little hatch here. Yeah, with the off-grid setup, it's kind of like RV. You've got propane bottle for the propane stove and your hot water on demand system. You've got either a solar array or a generator for electric hookup, same for the water pump. And then yeah, it's like an RV style septic system that you can just remove on wheels and empty it whenever you need to. So on the roofing, we've gone for the same seamless Mechlock system that we've got on the siding. These roofs are all fitted with snow stops as well, so they're perfect for BC winters. The light gauge steel frame, you know, you've got really high tolerances on snow, on wind, on seismic. Also fire zones as well. These are perfect for fire zones. There's no natural wood on the roof or on these three sides. We do offer a metal natural faux wood on the covered deck area as well. So if you live in a fire zone, you can fully enclose the building in metal. And then yeah, on this side of the building, this takes you through to the side entrance on the J, leads you into that kind of little hallway mudroom type area. So yeah, this one has 2 entry spaces. This is a little side entry where you can hang up your coats, put your shoes, your boots, and then we also have the other one that goes straight out onto the deck. Yeah, it's nice to have a little side entry space where you can just hang up all your wet stuff. So here we've got a nice little dining area, perfect for 2 people to sit and have breakfast, lunch or dinner, and obviously all these fantastic views as well. We've got this big picture window and swing door entry system that goes out onto the deck. It really brings in that outside, inside kind of living vibe. This is the living area space. You can configure this in many ways, you know, sofa bed if that was a requirement. But yeah, we've just arranged this, really taken in the nice views and setting that we're in here. You've got a little living area, a little dining area, all just kind of flows nicely between the kitchen and the living dining space. So yeah, even though this is a relatively small space, we really go overboard on quality of finishes and functionality. So in the kitchen, you've got really nice 2 cm quartz countertops, birch boxes, soft closed doors on all of the cupboards and the drawers, and a really nice two-tone kind of natural and grey finish. It's really well equipped, to be honest. It's set up as off-grid, so everything can be run off solar power or propane. You have integrated dishwasher, a nice under-mounted sink, a propane-powered range and stove, and yeah, plenty of room here in a single stack fridge freezer. So we've got a mini split system and a heat pump hookup outside. Because of the high R values and all the insulation we use, this just really, you know, it's a low power way of keeping the unit comfortable. So it keeps it nice and warm in the winter and nice and cool in the summer. We've got another nice flow through to the bedroom. The way we laid this one out was really to maximize the views. So it's like a galley bedroom, but still really well thought out. So you've got a queen size bed, you've got a beautiful view outside through this big natural opening. But yeah, still we've integrated some storage space. You know, you've got shelving here, a little bit of storage, and also this is where we store the hot water on demand system. So yeah, in the bathroom, we've kind of mirrored the same quality of finishes as we've got in the kitchen. So again, really nice birch, soft close cabinetry. We've got a fully tiled shower hooked up to the hot water on demand. So you get really nice hot water pressure, little electric towel rack above the toilet. And yeah, again, compact, but really good finish and really good functionality too. This is very much about open plan studio living space, but we do have different models, different configurations, anywhere from 400 square feet all the way up to 1,000 square feet, and then we get into double wides, double highs, quadplexes, duplexes and such. And price, yeah, we are comparable to wood, and we can deliver faster too. The J model we sell as a completed home. It's 197,000 Canadian dollars fully finished. But we are currently rolling out a network of our light gauge steel printers, which will give people access just to buy the light gauge steel kit. The J light gauge steel kit retails at 18,000 Canadian dollars. And what that includes is light gauge steel panelized floor, walls, and roof. As far as the installation of that goes, like, yeah, this could be done DIY with, say, 2 or 3 people on site. You don't need to be a carpenter. No mechanical lifting, just basic level of skills and tooling. Once the light gauge steel frame is up, you go membrane, you go exterior warm insulation, strapping for ventilation, and then whatever siding, rain screen systems that you want to use for the build. One thing with light gauge steel framing is managing thermal bridging. All of our buildings, all of our superstructures, we wrap them in a warm frame envelope. So we can use 4 inches of exterior insulation, and then the cavities of the steel frame as well, we fill with mineral wool bats. Performance-wise, we are hitting R38 as a minimum and up to R48. The advantages of light gauge steel, number one has to be efficiency. If you think of the coils that end up becoming frames, one coil is a diameter of maybe, I don't know, 24 inches by maybe 18 inches high. That's the equivalent of 1 kilometer of wood. So you can see logistically the power of that. You could probably get 10 houses on one truck. The equivalent in wood would be a long line of trucks. And then sustainability is the other one. If you think of like a typical 2,000 square foot home, wood frame, that would probably take 40 mature trees. We can print that, the equivalent of that frame, out of 2 or 3 light gauge steel coils. But the real thing on sustainability is these galvanized light gauge steel buildings, they will last like hundreds of years. So when you look at the embedded or the operational carbon of wood versus steel, you've got to look at the longevity of it. You know, if it would take 3 wood buildings to outlast the equivalent steel building, then there's 3 times the calculations in there. And that's what is often not considered when people are looking at the sustainability performance of wood versus steel. The only other bit I'd add in there is, yeah, you know, Steel is smelted, yes, for sure, but all of our process, it's a cold form process. So as far as like taking that coil and making it into a building, it's a completely cold process. I think my main disadvantages for the business and for light gauge steel in general, really, it's mainly adoption. You know, wood has been incumbent here for generations, and the industry isn't really quick to innovate or to progress. So I think that's probably been our biggest barrier. But, you know, the demand is there, the need for housing's there. So I think the thing that excites me the most is just the opportunity that exists. Developers are starting to come around to light gauge steel as maybe the building method of the future. We want to get the technology out there. You know, we are pushing for a simpler, higher performing, more efficient build process, and the net effect of that is to achieve more affordable homes within society.
Subscribe to Exploring Alternatives, and please share this video if you liked it. You can also follow and find out more about ORCA Homes and ORCA Kits on their websites and on their Instagram pages. Thanks for watching.